Patrick Bateman maintained a manicured mask of sanity in 1980s Manhattan. In Hollywood, Tom Cruise presents an equally flawless image, a multi-million-dollar smile, perfect hair, and an air of absolute control. By the mid-1980s, Cruise was the undisputed king of the box office. He was the maverick, the ideal American golden boy. With his intense gaze and undeniable charisma, he secured a level of global fame that few actors in history ever achieve. Underneath the blockbuster checks and magazine covers, however, was a profound inner emptiness. He grew up in a chaotic household, constantly moving, trying to survive a deeply troubled childhood under an abusive father. There was also a specific vulnerability that threatened his ability to work. Cruise suffered from severe dyslexia. For an actor who relied on memorizing massive scripts, this created an intense, daily insecurity, the constant fear that he would be exposed as a fraud. This immense wealth and fame didn't solve these problems. It isolated him further. He had everything the world told him he should want, yet he remained desperate for a cure to the insecurities that traditional success couldn't reach. In the late 1980s, Cruise was introduced to the Church of Scientology. The organization handed him their core text, Dianetics, which specifically claimed it could resolve ailments of the mind, including conditions exactly like his dyslexia. When Cruise applied the methods laid out by the church's founder, L. Ron Hubbard, he became convinced the system worked. He believed Hubbard had cured his lifelong disability, and that belief cemented his absolute, unquestioning loyalty. To progress within the church, members undergo a process called auditing. It is presented as spiritual counseling designed to clear the mind of past traumas. This is a highly efficient intelligence-gathering operation. During these controlled sessions, every spoken confession is systematically documented. The church creates a permanent file containing a member's deepest insecurities and darkest secrets. This creates a psychological trap. If they ever criticize the organization, they remain leveraged by their own recorded confessions. Cruise entered the church as a patient seeking help. Through decades of intensive auditing, he handed over total leverage, trading his independent agency for the organization's promise of invincibility. Recognizing his public relations value, the church granted Cruise elite VIP status. They isolated him within luxurious compounds like the Celebrity Center, surrounding him with an echo chamber of constant praise. This elite position also granted him proximity to the church's paramilitary wing, the Sea Org. These members sign billion-year contracts and operate in extreme isolation, often aboard offshore vessels like the Freewinds. He also learned the reality behind the glamorous facade, including the Hole, a specialized punishment facility at the international base used to psychologically break and detain dissenting executives. Rather than walk away, Cruise became an ideological enforcer. He adopted the church's attack the attacker policy, aggressively using his platform to tear down critics and journalists who questioned Scientology's practices. Cruise moved beyond the role of a famous parishioner. He formed a symbiotic alliance with the church leadership, providing them with a global face, while they provided him with a private, institutional fortress. The personal cost of this radicalization soon became visible. When his wife, Nicole Kidman, began to pull away from the church, the resulting pressure led directly to the mandated destruction of their marriage. The church enforces a rigid policy regarding suppressive persons. When someone is labeled an enemy of the faith, active members are ordered to completely sever all ties with them, even if they are family. The most shocking consequence of this policy surfaced years later. After his marriage to Katie Holmes collapsed under similar pressures, Cruise complied with the organization's rules and abandoned his youngest daughter, Suri, erasing her from his daily life. The public watched as the blockbuster hero persona collided with these choices. The leaked recruitment videos and the detached interviews created a lasting rift in how the world perceived the man behind the stunts. He secured an impenetrable institutional shield that caters to his every whim, but to maintain it, he had to trade his humanity, his real-world relationships, and his own daughter. This version of the American Psycho doesn't require a knife or a clear raincoat. It is the result of a man methodically erasing his own past, his family, and his reality to become the flawless, unthinking avatar of an institution.